Welcome to Be Bold Branding. Hello, everybody. What is a brand identifier and why is it critical to your personal branding success? Well, you're going to learn all about it today as we cover the 3 reasons you need a brand identifier. I'm Tonya Michael, founder of BrandFace, where we help business stars differentiate themselves, and we do that through personal branding.
Hey folks, I'm Michael Carr. I'm the COO of BrandFace. I was a client before I became a partner, and we are the only comprehensive personal brand building system across the globe. Thank you for joining us today. That's some good information for you.
Okay, so I find the best way to express things sometimes is to do so in a story or just kind of painting a picture for you guys. So let's imagine this scenario, which has happened to me a lot. You're walking past a bakery window, right? One of the most wonderful windows to ever walk past.
For sure.
And you see this incredible cake in the window, shaped like a castle, complete with a moat, surrounded by knights in armor. Okay, well, I get a little carried away, but that does get your attention, right? You don't yet know why this cake is in the window or who it was baked for, right? But it looked different. So different from the typical wedding cakes and birthday cakes alongside of it, and you just had to stop and look.
Scenario number 1, or how about this scenario? You're buying a TV and you go and you're specifically looking for a smart TV, and you get to the store and the big, you know how they do the big giant shelf TVs going everywhere? It's mania. How do you pick the right TV? All the boxes in the store shelf pretty much look the same. Photo of a TV, the measurements, right? The including components, but one box has the word smart TV, or one TV has smart TV written across it in huge letters. It says connect to any device, something that is important to you. That gets you past the first step, right? When the official what the TVs or the whole wall of what do I choose here? I came in for a 55-inch smart TV and I've got 200 to choose from. How do you make that next step? What jumps out at you to make one of them stand out and find you, right? It's one of the first things that you've got to get past to explore some more. Meaning it's among your top choices already just because of a few words. Smart TV.
So those 2 stories, right? We share them because they show just how important a first impression is, and how, like in the case of the smart TV, just a few words can position you instantly to be one of the top choices. And in the case of the cake, it's how much image matters. See, you don't know the full story behind either one of those products, right? And you won't until you get the cake. You don't know what kind of cake is it, why was it served, who is it for, what's inside, the box of the TVs. You don't know everything it can do until you open it up, start reading the manual, which nobody ever does. You don't know the full story, but you're drawn to them because number 1, they're unique, or they might fit the needs that you're seeking, right? And that, honestly, guys, is what a brand identifier does.
Yeah, big topic, brand identifier, especially these days. You're hearing everywhere you look, people are talking about branding.
They're on that personal brand wagon.
Yeah, brand wagon. Build your brand. Build your brand. We'll show you how to build your brand. I doubt it, but you can get some information about what a brand is. Technically, a brand identifier is a tagline or a slogan that sets the tone and direction for your personal brand. Okay. Tonya obviously wrote the book on this, and we're passing that information on to you as we have our clients in 41 states, 4 provinces of Canada, and 3 other countries, right? Think about it. You can't possibly fit an entire contents of a book on the cover, right? And we all heard it. Our grandparents told us, don't judge a book by cover, right? But we do as humans. We automatically do. But so put the attention-getting headlines or the topic, or in the case we're explaining, the identifier on the cover, because it's the first thing that people see. How does it jump out from a wall of books, the sea of sameness that all of us in business deal with, every one of our competitors, right? If you're in a real estate business, everybody knows a realtor. If they're not already a realtor themselves, how are you going to stand out? But it's the same in every genre of entrepreneurial business, period. How are you going to stand out?
Yep. So a brand identifier is, one of the ways that helps you stand out from the very beginning. And your brand identifier should state who you are or what you do or stand for. And here are the three reasons that you really need one, drilling down into the technical aspects of it. Number one, as Michael said, it sets the tone and direction for your brand. It puts up those guardrails, if you will, for your brand and marketing. Mm-hmm. How many agents we've been on the phone with in the past that say, there's so much out there, like so many marketing platforms. I don't know what to say, where to advertise, how to say it. No, they have no idea. And it's understandable. That's understandable. But a lot of that would be cleared up right away with defining that direction. And that brand identifier is kind of like that starting gate, right?
Yes.
It's a starting gate. It opens up and you stay in your lane and you win the race. That's how it works. So Number two, it sets you apart from the very beginning. The cover of that book, the shape or creativity of the cake, the printed words on the box of the TV, that headline, if you will, that says, "Hey, here's just the sneak peek of what's inside." A sneak peek. And then number three, it begins keyword to attract and narrow down who you want to do business with. It should help your ideal customer to look at that, and that should pique their attention. They should say, okay, that has me interested. I'm at least going to consider that in my top choices. So, a brand identifier is you're not going to put it out there and everybody says, oh, that's exactly who I want to do business with, right? It kicks open the door, though. It kicks open the door where they want to learn more because the image, the words, they say something that appeals to that customer that you're looking to reach. And so from the word go, as they say, at least you're in the running. At least you're in the running. So those are the three things. Sets the tone and direction for your brand, sets you apart from the very beginning, and begins to attract and narrow down who you want to do business with. It is such a great indicator. It's like the front door on a house, right? You want that to be inviting. You want it to be welcoming and warm and approachable. You want all of those things, right? And so think of that as like the entryway, the doorway, the gateway to the rest of the story, as Paul Harvey says. And now the rest of the story.
Hey, here's another story to put something in perspective for you. We love this story, right? This comes from
Simon Sinek.
Simon Sinek's book. Simon Sinek, pure genius, right? And one of his books, Start with the Why, is very important, and a great book, by the way. If you want to read that, it's fantastic. It's a perfect example of what a brand identifier is all about. It's what it's all about, right? So follow us on this thought process. He talks about it back in the day. American auto execs went to visit a Japanese auto assembly line. So like if you're older than let's see here.
Careful now.
Yeah, I know exactly. Like okay, so Toyotas were imported at sometime around the early 70s, early 1970s, okay? So like if you're in your late 40s or younger, everybody knows what a Toyota is, right? And how fantastic Toyotas were, and they built their reputation on their longevity and how well they were built and everything. So these auto execs are at a Japanese auto assembly line. And one of the last things that happens in an American assembly line for automobiles like GM, Ford, Dodge, Chrysler, with those American built like that, one of the last things are the doors are put on, okay? And the American executives, they were walking through the Japanese operation and how they were doing that. And in America at the time, one person aligned the doors with a rubber mallet and then secured them into place to be sure that they aligned perfect, right? So they go through the whole tour, and one of the American execs asked the Japanese exec, he says, well, when are the doors put on? And how do you make sure you don't have anybody in this space with a rubber mallet aligning these doors and setting them? How do you know that the doors are going to fit perfect? And a Japanese exec just smiled and said, we do that in the design. Let that sink in just a minute.
Ding.
We do that in the design. In other words, in the planning phase, Define yourself from the beginning. How does that work with your brand identifier? Define yourself properly in the very beginning, and a brand identifier gives you that initial alignment to your customer that you are seeking. Not only to attract them, but also for you to attract them, right? It works both ways. So your brand identifier takes the place of that rubber mallet, making sure those doors are aligned. If you plan right when you start, then you're going to come right out of the gate with your brand and be able to start attracting customers and business.
Yep, that's true. One other visual for you guys. Okay, do you ever see V for Vendetta, and where they line up all that pattern of dominoes, that intricate pattern of dominoes, and all he has to do is go tip, and it cascades all those dominoes in perfect pattern, right? And that's kind of what your brand identifier does. It gives you the path on which to operate, the path on which to follow with your brand. And so I think we've given you enough visuals and stories and things today to really kind of hopefully put that in perspective, to let you know how important that is. Your brand identifier is not your brand. It is the identifier that kind of dictates, here's where my brand goes, here's how I'm going to follow, here's what I want to be known for. And as we said, just to cap this off, your brand identifier should state who you are or what you do or stand for. And guys, now you know the top 3 reasons that you need a brand identifier.
Yep.
All right. So if you want to discuss your brand identifier with us, with our team, just head to discussyourbrand.com and apply for a free 30-minute session. And if it's a fit, we can get you started the same day, and it will just be a matter of days before your brand identifier is dictating your direction.
That's right. And if you like what you've heard today, folks, please like it, love it, share it, hit the subscribe button. We need it. We'd love it if you'd follow us and give us also some ideas of the content that you would want. You'll be the first one to know when the new videos come out. We're doing them every week. We've got a huge library of content to help you build your business. It is stuff that we put into practice every day for our own lives. I met Tonya 7 years ago, and she has helped take Michael Carr & Associates to several new levels, and we're wanting to pass that information on to you. We appreciate your time today. And folks, we do this because we want and believe in prosperity, right? In the pursuit of prosperity. But it's not about money, not prosperity like just money. We're talking about the 360 of an abundant life, of a very content life, which we all deserve. And we know at BrandFace that prosperity favors the bold. So we say be bold, folks, especially with your brand. And thank you, Miss Tonya.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you all for spending time with us. We appreciate you so much. Hopefully, you guys will have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you here next time.
Subscribe.
There you go. Don't forget.